This is Andy Purewal for Boxing News. As always, I'm joined by ring legend Roy Jones Jr. over Zoom. Roy, always a pleasure, as I say. How's life treating you?
Treatment pretty good.
I'm glad to hear it now. Obviously, you're back in camp yourself. How are you finding it again?
Well, it's just kind of fun. I just this time I have to lose the weight, so it's cool because it's a metaverse fight, so it's a bit different. But so and he's much bigger than me anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But everything's going good.
What's it like when you step between the ropes now? As you mentioned, you don't need to lose the weight, but he's a bigger guy. What's it like, despite obviously your talents and your undoubted, accomplishments within the sport, going in there now at your age? How different does it feel?
It's very different because your body don't want to get up and go some days. It's just everything is different. It takes a lot longer to recover. A lot of things are different, but you got to do what you got to do.
These fights obviously looked at as exhibition bouts, but with the kind of the attitude you have and that eagerness to win and that want to will to win when you step between the ropes, is it still a matter of I'm going in there to showcase my talents and to get that W?
Every day, every time, all day, 24/7. Nothing changes.
What are you expecting from Robert Wilmote?
Just a lot of big, strong punches. You know what I mean? He's a big, strong guy. He's a weightlifter, so whatever he throws. I avoid it and continue to pound it.
How many more do you feel you've got left in you, Roy? Because there's, you know,
This probably be my last one. It's like I enjoy boxing. Boxing's been good, but it's like for me, I just want to do things, a couple just to show people that I was capable and I still could get in shape to do what I need to do if necessary. Like I said, they were paying people so much money to do fights and do exhibitions, but people do exhibitions. I don't like exhibitions. You want to give it to them for real. So this metaverse is a little bit different than exhibition, but still, I still have to give it to them as real as I can give it. You feel me? So that was good. I also want to learn how to do the weight loss thing. That's why I did the real fight in Milwaukee because I wanted to experience the weight loss situation with water loading and with doing the salt bath because I never did that in my day. This new era of how they lose weight is different, and it's something that you should do so that you understand it. Because if you don't do it, you never understand it. I had to do it so that I fully understand it. Now I get it.
we spoke about that previously. How much of for you was it an enlightening situation to find yourself in terms of the weight loss process?
It was so different for me, but it felt so good. I was like, wow, I was amazed. If I had this 20 years ago, who knows what would have happened.
That was going to be my next question. If you'd have had
Yeah,
the
man.
weight making process back then,
If I had this 20 years ago, oh my gosh, this would have been crazy. You feel me? I probably never would have lost. Never, ever, ever.
Roy, obviously you've just told me before we started you're out in Florida. We know Junior is, unless he's with you now in Florida, he was in Vegas. How's
Mm-hmm.
camp started between the pair of you?
Kept going good with Junior in Vegas. It's doing good. Just that it's hard to stay focused when you don't know a date. So these date changes pull me back some, pull us back some because we don't we don't want to overdo it, and it's kind of hard to just kind of stay on coast because I'm not a guy that likes to teach coasting. Because when I'm in the gym, I want you give it 100% and you give it nothing. So the way I do now, I have to pull back and just not do quite as many rounds but still have full intensity. So we have to pull the number of rounds back, but try to keep the full intensity up.
Obviously he's getting ready for a Liam Smith fight. Now Liam's pulled out through an injury, or postponed rather. He was looking at August. The frustrations of Liam's injury, the postponement, is Junior feeling that?
Yeah, I mean, we always feel the frustration because we don't like change. Nobody likes change. None of us, no human beings like change. So anytime there's a change, people are frustrated because we don't like change. I don't like change. He don't like change. Liam don't like change. Nobody likes change unless you're the reason that it has to change. If you're the reason it has to change, then of course you like it because you want to be 100%. But the other people, no, we don't like it.
There's obviously, we had a lot of talk in the past about Junior making 160, how he'd feel. With this delay, is it going to impact anything anymore?
No, no whatsoever.
One thing I'm also interested by, Roy, is the introduction of David Haye into the training camp. Talk to me about why Junior maybe proposed that and what the working dynamic is like between all three of you now.
I mean, I don't know. That's him and David. They've been friends longer than I've known Junior, so that's what they do. That's okay. It didn't affect me and what I'm doing in my situation, so it's okay with me. I mean, I think David brings a lot to the table because David is also of Chris's nature. He grew up kind of like Chris grew up, so he understands Chris a little bit better than I would. So bringing that added knowledge to the table can only help Chris. A lot of people get caught up into, it's disrespectful as this. No, I'm not going to say it's disrespectful. I'm saying it's helpful because he's not in trying to do what I do. I do what I do. He understands, respect me for who I am. I'm a master of the sport. He knows that too. So it's like, it's not disrespectful at all to bring another champion in the camp that can help you or that can motivate you to give you something that maybe you've been missing. And to me, he's bringing a lot of things to Chris that Chris has been missing. Things that I probably don't take the time to do because it's beyond, for me, it's like certain things you just got to know that you got to do. You got to be responsible and you take care of your part, I take care of my part. So I think David kind of came in just to double up on him and make sure he takes care of his part. And I think it's been a great thing because David has been nothing but positive in the whole camp for me. So I love it.
What side is David looking to bring into Junior then?
Just to make him get up and do the things he should do when he should get up and do them. David understands, he understands Junior, and he motivates Junior to get up and do more than Junior probably would want to do. But that's why it's good to have a person like David around. So it's like me, I'm a master, but I'm the master in the gym. You understand me? I'm the master when it comes time to do the cross the T's and dot the I's in the boxing ring. That's where my masterness comes from. I'm not so masterful at how people want to get themselves in condition outside the ring because they got strength and conditioning coaches for that. I can give you keys what to do, but I'm not going to go there and sit down and make sure you do them because I have too much to do in my day to focus on the things that you can do. So I want you to do the things you can do, and I'm going to do the things that I'm supposed to do. David's helping him do the things that he can do because sometimes when you get comfortable, you start to lax or slack on those things that you can do on your own. So David's there to make sure those things get tidied up.
Roy, there's obviously a lot of reports at the minute as to which path Junior goes down for his next fight because of Liam pulling out with a postponement. The Conor Benn fight has crept back into the equation. Who are you preparing Junior for? Are you preparing him for Liam Smith or are you preparing him for Conor Benn?
See, that's the whole thing about me. I prepare Junior for whatever comes in front of him. My job is not to prepare him for a particular fighter. My job is to prepare him for whatever job is at hand, for whoever may come. So guess what? The way I make him ready for whoever may come is to prepare him to be the best him that he can be. If he's that person, then it don't matter which one shows up because he can do it all. People thought last time they said, well, Roy made him fight the wrong fight. Roy didn't make him fight nothing. Roy told him that Liam is a different type of fighter. You can't back away from Liam, let Liam be a momentum coming forward. Liam, you got to go forward and fight Liam head on because if you let Liam come at you, Liam gets the momentum. I didn't tell him to go out and box Liam. No, I did not. I said, you can fight Liam the old way that Chris Eubank fights. You don't need me for Liam because the old Chris is the perfect style to fight Liam. So he's a grown man. He's going to choose to fight how he wants to fight. I can't force him to fight how I want to fight. I can only give him options. When I give you options, if you choose the other option after I tell you not to, that's kind of on you. But I told you that's not the option you need this time. So I didn't tell him to go out and box Liam. You know? I told him to go out and meet Liam head on and do what you got to do with Liam because if you box Liam, you give Liam too much momentum. So you might box Liam right away, like the first round or two, just see what Liam has. Then you have to fight Liam. You can't box Liam no more. He didn't choose. He kept trying to box Liam, and that wasn't for me because that's not what I asked for.
Was this a conversation you had with Junior after the fight to say to him, like, this wasn't the way that I expected you to go about it?
Before and after. All right? Before and after. So it's like, he knew after that he chose the wrong path, but I said that before the fight. I wanted to tell him when I first got there that you don't need me for this fight because what I'm adding to you right now, this ain't what you use in a fight like this. This guy is not the guy to use that on. So it's like when I tell you all of that, if you still go out there and boxing, that's just something you want to do. I can't tell you what you can't do because you're a grown man. But I do give you the options, and I told you the best option to win this fight is to not do that. And I did mention that several times.
Do you think he needs you for a rematch now?
Yeah, because now we got to change again. We can't do what we had planned to do last time because everybody knows what we planned to do last time. Now, if they listen, they know what the plan was. Because if they listen, they know what I told them and what I told them he should do. So now he has to have a little bit of a change up. You can't go with the same last plan because everybody knows that plan now. So now you got to go to another level, which Roy has, and Roy can implement if you do it. So my goal is to implement that plan now, and he has to do it. That's why I like having David because David is gonna push him to make sure he does it. So it kind of adds, it kind of helps, you know.
Roy, one thing I'm interested by is in the press conference at the initial announcement for the rematch, Junior said he'd be telling you not to bring a towel with you to the corner. If the going got tough and his back was against the ropes and he was taking some punishment, he would not want to see you throw that towel in. Just want to get your thoughts on those comments.
Well, guess what? If you show me what I need to see in the gym before training, before the fight, I won't need to bring a towel. I'll agree with you. But if you don't show me that, I'm gonna bring a towel.
Junior, just to link back with Junior and Ben. Do you, as Connor, sorry, as Junior rather said anything to you about where things currently stand?
No, he won't sit into me about that until he knows for sure what it is. He's one of these type of guys who he doesn't have much extra to say. You know, he don't talk about things that are not fact. So if it's not happening, he ain't gonna talk about it. He did say he may look for another opponent because he still wants to fight, and if this fight keeps getting pushed back, he wants to fight again. So he said if the fight gets pushed back again, he may want another opponent. Could that opponent be Conor? Of course, if it's possible, I'm sure he would love to fight Conor. But he hasn't said anything directly related to Conor as that goes. No.
When does he want to get out by then? Let's say if it's not the Smith fight, when does he want to get out in the interim?
No, he wants to fight another fight the date that he's supposed to fight Smith on. So if it gets pushed to August and Smith can't go to August, he's gonna ask for a new opponent to fight August. He still wants to fight in August at the latest.
If it was down to Junior, obviously you got the chance at the rematch with Liam, or you've got this kind of grudge match, this rivalry with Conor, which is built. What do you think he would prefer?
I mean, to me, he probably I don't know. I don't know. You have to ask him that because I can only speak from my standpoint. My standpoint, I'd rather finish this unfinished business first, then go to the Ben fight. Because if you go to the Ben fight and you get unfinished business happen there again, now you got two sets of unfinished business. Now you don't know where you at in your career. You feel me? But and at the same time, if you went to the Smith fight and you didn't beat Smith, then that's another issue with the Ben fight. You understand me? So that's a lot to be taken in. But for me, I would go try to finish the unfinished business first. Then I would go look for the other fight. Unless Liam couldn't fight, then I would take the other fight.
Does he tell you about how personally he finds a potential fight with Conor Benn because obviously how it all fell through last time?
I mean, I could see how it is. He don't say, like I said, he's not a man of a lot of words, so he won't talk about it. But I know how it affected him, and I know how bad he wanted to do it.
Beyond either of those fights, what else is Junior looking for? I know I've spoken in the past about him wanting to become a world champion again. People question his age. Do you still see somebody who has a world title in him?
Yeah, I see somebody who has a world title in him. It's just that he has to be motivated, and I think I do a good job of motivating him in the gym when I had the right people to motivate him with. So Chris is the kind of guy who he's already rich at what he's doing. He don't need anything. So it's like for him, it's like whatever. But he's also still a winner at heart and he wants to win. So if you put him in with people that he gotta work to win against, he gonna work and try to win. And that's what I like about him. So that's why it's easier for me to work with him because he still has that championship heart. As long as he has that, he has the potential to become a world champion again.
Roger, sticking kind of around that weight class, get your thoughts on another topic. We've seen David Benavidez, his promoters come out, Samson Lukovic, saying that he sent an offer to Canelo's team to try and make a fight. What would you make of a fight between Canelo and Benavidez?
It's a very good fight. It's not a walkover for either fighter. It's a very tough fight. Both fighters are really good fighters. Benavidez definitely has the work rate that is against what Canelo wants to see right now because Canelo, again, is a rich man who don't need nothing. And it's hard to make a rich man get up and work every day. So he don't need nothing, but because they're both Mexican, there's a pride thing there too. So I think if anybody can bring him out and make him come back and fight like he's supposed to fight again, it would be Benavidez because of the Mexican pride thing. But right now, I mean, I just think that Benavidez is the more hungrier fighter because he has more to prove. And he wants to get to be rich. Canelo already is rich. So it's like,
Another fight which has been announced, one which everybody has been hoping for, and it's now official. Spence-Crawford, Roy. What goes down?
very good fight there again, and that fight is a you pick 'em as well. You know, I always lean more toward Bud because I saw more of Bud, and I know more about Bud's skills. I know Bud can change. Bud can do things, can make changes on the fly like a real person, like most great champions can do. I haven't seen Spence really ever have to make those changes because I haven't seen him in that situation yet. So now what he can make on that, I'm not saying he can't. I just never seen him have to do it, but he may be able to. If he can make those changes, we in for one hell of a fight. If he can hurt Crawford early, we in for one hell of a fight. But from what I've seen, I don't know that he can make those changes. And being great is about how adaptable you can be. Can you make these changes? Can you adapt to what's happening and make the necessary changes to propel in a fight? If you can do that and make those proper adjustments, then you can do something. If you can't make those adjustments, then you're gonna fall by the wayside. Now we never seen him, like I say, in a position where he had to make adjustments because we only seen him really fight one way. You know, we see him mostly pressure people. We don't see him outbox people. We see him pressure people, weigh you down, and then take you out because he's a bigger guy for the weight class. Will that work against Crawford? We don't know. We don't think it will, but we don't know. So we can't count nothing out. Like I said, that's why I said you pick him fight. Spence is much bigger, used to being in with much bigger guys. Crawford is more adaptable and can make more adjustments, I know. But like I said, I'm not saying Spence can't. We just never seen him have to. So it's a great fight, and I can't wait to see it. I'm just really, my hat goes off to both of them, and goes off to Gervonta Davis because Gervonta made everybody step up. Gervonta stepped up and fought Ryan, which made Haney go ahead, but Haney been fighting everybody too because he fought Kambosos first. Then he went ahead and fought Loma. Now these two have to fight, or one of those guys gonna become the new pound for pound number one. So they're forcing these guys to have to fight, and I love it.
What did you make of Haney-Loma? There was a lot of people questioning if it was the right outcome or not.
Well, here's what I'm gonna say about that again. When Max Kellerman has it 115, 113 for Loma, and two other judges have it 115, 113 for Haney, that was a good damn fight. A fight that, a matter of how you judge the fight, is going to determine who you thought won the fight. Because clearly Max thought Loma edged it out. Clearly these two judges thought Haney edged it out. Now the one judge that had it 112, 116, no. I don't like his score at all. And I understand how he got it, but I don't like his score at all. But the two that had it 115, 113, just as Max had it 115, 113 the other way, that tells you that that was a good fight. And according to how you look at how you judge fights, you could have gave it to either guy. But with it being like that, that should have been called a draw, and let's do it again. But that's what's wrong with boxing. We're so into trying to make sure one guy gets the decision instead of making the right call, or just knowing that if this guy had this close, this guy had this close. We saw the guy who's an unofficial judge have it 115, 113 for the other guy. Two of the official judges had it 115, 113 for the champion. Dude, that's automatically tell you that that's two different ways of seeing it. That's controversial. So that means that was a controversial decision. Why? Because boxing has so many different assets to scoring and winning rounds that it depends on who the person is, how you look at it as to who wins the round. Yeah, a person that's judging most of the headshots gonna give the close rounds to Loma because Loma landed more headshots than a lot of the rounds. A person judging effective shots gonna give most of the early rounds to Haney because he landed some devastating body shots and headshots in the fight. So for me, it should have been called a draw and let's just run it back because both guys had their moment. Now, to take it a step further, if Loma wins that last round after being so dominant in the 11th round, I probably would have gave Loma a fight because he dominated round 10. He beat one round 10. He dominated round 11. If he come over that domination and still show that same kind of control and domination in round 12, he definitely wins the fight because he won 3 of the championship rounds, which are always more important rounds than the earlier rounds. You understand me? And his rounds have been more decisive than the rounds that Haney won. So I would have gave Logan a fight had he won the last round. But he said he took off the last round. Well, wait a minute. This is Roy. Roy's a little different. If a guy pushes you the way Haney pushed him in the press conference, which is totally different, total disrespect to you, how do you give him a round off if you can beat him? Where we do that at? You feel me? He done disrespected you. You gonna give him a round off, and you can, and as bad as you beat him around 11, look to me like you should have came out and beat him just that bad or worse in round 12. If he does that, guess what? On the scores, on the judges' scorecard, we got to draw automatically if he just wins round 12. But if he dominates it and can get it by 2 points, he definitely wins the fight. So while we taking time off, this is a sport you can't take no time off in because it's too close. You don't know what guys are looking at, what guys are thinking. Some judges like ring generalship. Some judges like aggressiveness. Some judges like boxing. Some judges like stylistic boxing. You don't know what kind of judges you got. So you got to try to win every aspect of the game, or you're going to leave it in the judge's hands. He gave the 11th round up, he left it in the judge's hands. I mean, the 12th round. He gave the 12th round up.
Roy, just moving to the weight above that next week, a fight which I'm sure Devin will be keeping a close eye on is Josh Taylor-Lopez. It's one which got a lot of people talking. What do you expect to see him at?
That's a really good fight. You know what I'm saying, man? Got to see how Teofimo comes back. Can he bounce back from those injuries and stuff he's had? If his body's right, is he back in shape? Is he back in the normal form? Not shape. I mean, is he okay? Is he conditioning the way the things that have been wrong with him? Has he fixed those things? So is he physically okay to return back to normal form or not? Because if he's not, he won't be Josh Taylor, because Josh Taylor is a fighter who's on his way. But if he's at his normal physical way of being, then I would lean probably toward Teofimo because of the experience factor and just that I know he was sucking himself down pretty light, making 135, so he'll be more comfortable at 140. And not Josh can punch, and Josh not a bad fight either. But experience-wise, I would lean toward Teofimo. But if Josh can get it and get under control and get himself comfortable early, Josh can win the fight too. Because so you pick. Josh is very good early, and Josh is a very strong fighter down the whole fight. So Josh is no walkover.
Or something else I'm interested to get your thoughts on, Roy, is it's come out that Frank Warren said that Anthony Joshua's turned down an offer to face Tyson Fury in September. Are you surprised by that? Do you think it's the right move to wait for maybe a Dillian White fight and then Wilder in December this year, or do you think he should have taken it?
Why would anybody come off one of the worst performances they've had in a long time and go fight Tyson Fury? How much sense does that make? Which one of us do we believe? Which one of us believes that off of that last performance we saw that he gonna go beat Tyson Fury? Who thinks that? I mean, who really thinks that? Yeah, you got to get comfortable with your team first before you go try to take on somebody of that magnitude. You can't come with a first-time trainer, go out. Y'all clearly didn't have it together yet. And y'all gonna get it together, but y'all ain't got it together yet. So you're gonna catch us before we get it together and want us to fight the top guy of the division? How stupid would that be? So no, you don't put him out there with Tyson Fury right now. He ain't got comfortable with his trainer yet, obviously. So let him get comfortable first, then let him fight Tyson Fury. So I think he did the very right thing, the smartest thing he could have did by saying no.
Just final one before I let you go, Roy. How's Archie?
Archie's doing good. I love Archie doing good. Little Tony's doing good. I love those guys. I miss those guys. Archie's catching on to the things I'm teaching him very good, and I love it because he's progressing. And anytime a guy's progressing, and he calls me bi-weekly to get new things to work on, and he's, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I love working with Archie. He wants to get better, and I love that. That's like a Christmas gift to me, a fighter that wants to get better.
Archie's been desperate for a big fight for a while now, Roy. Where do things stand with him trying to secure that?
Well, we're going to see what happens with the next fight. If we get past this next fight, we should be able to get us a big fight, a title fight of some sort. And if not, then we'll come to the U.S., we'll win the NBA world title. We'll say, hey, it's not one of the major titles, but it's a world title. Who wants it? And if somebody wants it, they come for it.
That's fair enough, Roy, and we will leave up there now. I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your day. It's a pleasure to catch up with you, and I'll look forward to speaking to you again soon. Thank you for jumping on with me, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your day and your weekend.
Thank you, Andy. You enjoy yourself too, all right?